Good evening. We are joined here tonight by head women's soccer coach Melissa Warner. Coach Warner, thank you for joining us tonight.
Of course.
Third season at Mesa College, last season PCAC champions. Coach, tell me, how has the offseason been going? How is the team looking?
Yeah. Off season was great. We had a good turnout in the spring, and this summer we have a lot of players. We had a lot of really talented kids come out. We've been playing a lot, lots of fitness, really getting ready to start the season off on our best foot. It's looking good.
Hey, quick recap on last season. 16-3-2 overall. You can't get any better being undefeated in the PCAC. Obviously, PCHE's champions. Before we start talking about each individual player, what do you remember most about last year's squad and your accomplishments?
Man, um, last year's squad holds a really special place in my heart, and I think they probably will forever. They were my first really team as a head coach that I got to coach. My first season was during COVID. So, like many other programs, we started from ground zero, had no players, and had to start all over again. The biggest the biggest thing for me for this team last year was their heart and their commitment. We literally had one player at the beginning of the season during summer, and we ended up with a squad that was small but tight knit, and we really felt like a family. And they're just a fantastic group of women. I remember playing our first non-conference game at Long Beach City College, and we lost 5-0, and it was very much like, oh no, what happened? And then being able to turn it around from there and going undefeated in conference, like that team is just amazing group of women.
Sure. Once again, we're joined here by Melissa Warner, a graduate of Occidental College in psychology and also receiving her MA at the University of Rockies in psychology as well. Hey, we can't talk about the team without talking about your freshman sensation, Audrey Reed, PCAC Player of the Year. What made her special, and what did she bring to the team every single day?
There's so many things about that kid that's special. Her pace, her decision making, her ability to do the right thing at the right time and be the right place on the field. She scored 19 goals in conference for us last season. I would just say she led by example. She was very modest. She didn't really, talk about herself very much. She was that kid that goes on the field, grinds, works hard, and leads by example. And there's really nothing, there's nothing better than that. Her energy and attitude is amazing.
I mean, you're coming with a stacked team. I think majority of them are returning, including your freshman sensation there. 7 all-conference members last season: Camry Correll, Valeria Vargas, Julia Widmer, Marlene Lopez, Ashley Melger, and Megan Grafman. What should we expect with your squad this year? And if there was one thing that the squad needs to improve on, especially considering how the season ended last season, what's that one thing or element that you need to, as the head coach, kind of inject into the veins of all your players?
Absolutely. We've got 6 of those 7 kids coming back this year. So I think the biggest thing is our mentality, never taking our foot off the gas, just always looking for that next game and keeping these players hungry. It's going to be a big challenge for this year. And that's my big focus.
Absolutely. I mean, it was, again, there's nothing, I don't want to say disappointing season, because obviously a lot of accomplishments were achieved, right? The first round loss to College of the Canyons, in which I was there. I was watching the game, and if I recall correctly, I mean, it was one of those games where, all right, we have control of the field. I believe we had the time of possession on our side as well, and one reason or the other, and I think there was 1 or 2 breakdowns, right, that happened really late in the game, and that can be a million reasons why. What's the one thing that you told your players, after a loss like that? And again, I don't want to use disappointment, because that's not the word I want to use, because you guys did accomplish so much. I just felt as if that squad was so special, and it still is, because like you said, you have, I believe, 7 of the 8 or 6 of the 7
Six
that's
of the
still
seven.
returning. Well, what did you tell your squad after that loss?
Man, that was such a game. That was such an emotional game. Honestly, just how proud I was of them for the entire season. What you probably didn't see was the amount of injuries that we collected throughout the year, like most soccer teams. We were literally like working with our athletic training staff, like, taping these kids back up. Coach,
Yeah.
I want to go back in the game. I got to play. I got to do this. And it's the heart really that was the most amazing part of that game for me. And there were some breakdowns. And I think honestly, it came down to injuries and we were tired. We had to add a game last minute, and by no means are these excuses. College of the Canyons are a fantastic team, and they really turned it on, especially in the second half.
Absolutely.
But the biggest thing, I was so proud of that squad and still
Right.
am.
Yeah. And like you said, the fact that majority of them are returning, it's one of those things that, bit of a cliche, but you learn most from your losses, right? Coach, any particular players that we need to keep an eye on this year? Any freshmen or any of the returning players that, in quote unquote, have checked in with you that, wow, you look great. Any of those guys we need to keep an eye on?
Yeah, absolutely. In addition to our returners that are coming back that were our all conference players, we have a really special kid, Georgia Goldstein from Ramona. We were lucky enough to add her, and I see magic when she plays. I'm super excited to see what happens this season with her. Audrey Reed, of course, coming back. Valet also was the second leading goal scorer on our team. Ashley Melgar, our defender of the year, she's coming back. We also have Amaya Jones. She is going to play, outside mid for us. And she's a really great attacking player too. Lots of creativity this year from these kids.
Can't wait. Who's our biggest threat to stop your program from winning its 8th conference title?
Man, it seems like it's Southwestern.
Yeah.
I love that team. I love the energy when we play. Soto is an amazing coach, and she always leads her squad to being really competitive. And I'm excited to play them a couple times this year.
And I'm gonna leave the mic to you. Any words you want to tell your fans, your supporters, and your athletes before we sign off?
Sure. Having our fans at our games is an absolute game changer. It's like we have a 12th man on the field. The energy in the stadium is just unbeatable, unmatchable when we have you guys out there. So every time you cheer, every time you guys are out there, it really means the world to us. And we're really excited to go even further this season than we did last season. We got a taste of playoffs, and the first thing that our players said after the game was, "Man, I'm proud of us, but I'm ready for next year."
Beautiful. Coach Melissa, I appreciate your time. Looking forward to seeing you guys move further this season. I have additional vested interest in the women's soccer team, especially pulling for you because you're a fellow Centurion. Go UC High. You're, I believe, class of 2004.
Yep.
I am class of 19. Not really going to say when the class was. And I believe you have also a handful of athletes that are UC High graduates as well. So I'm going to need to talk to some of those kids and see if I can wear our UC shirt and wear it proudly. But Coach, thank you for your time. You have to check in with us before the season starts and tell us what the progress of the team. And let's go get them.
I can't wait. Thank you.